In Search of a Walker, Chapter 3. This is getting to know Richard Mark Walker and his family, his wife Rosa and his daughters Jada and Leena, and just getting to talk with my cousins about my trip, my experience with them, my visit, what they were thinking, and, just their thoughts on our family. So it was really nice that they would have done this for me, let alone open up their home. Richie showing me an amazing time. Like, first, let me just say how much hospitality was shown me from when I first arrived. Richie greeted me with a bouquet of flowers at the airport. He took me out to eat at wonderful restaurants. I mean, we had such delicious food. We had dessert. He took me around Galveston. He showed me where he works. He showed me the NASA building, and just riding around with him was awesome. Just getting to talk with him, get to know him better. So that was all just wonderful. But these interviews took place on my last day in Houston, my last day at their house. And I'm just so grateful that you guys did this for me and helped me to build these memories and just to get to know you better, so that I can know you better, so our family can know you better. And this has just been like a springboard of what I want to continue to do. Not just interview people for the sake of remembering my father, but for the sake of getting to know who is the Walker family. Who are we? What are we like? What do we have in common? Who are we? So I just wanted to come on here and give a little preface about that. And also just to point out that Rosa Walker has the best laugh ever. It's just every time she laughs, I could watch these video clips over and over again, which I do when editing. And even though it's the same thing happening, just hearing her laugh makes me laugh. It is just so wonderful and awesome. So I hope you guys enjoy. All right, so I had asked, Rosa was telling me that she didn't know what to do since she couldn't ask me out to eat because I don't really eat breakfast like that. So I asked instead if I could ask them a few questions on camera. So here is cousin Richie and here is cousin Rosa. Thank you for consenting to be on my video. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me here and for your hospitality and just welcoming and showing me so much love. This has been something amazing. So I didn't know what to expect, but it's been better than what I could have expected. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I forgot what I said I was going to ask you first. About, just my visit here. And did you have any thought in mind about why I was coming? I mean, I'm sure you had some idea. So it's a kind of open-ended question, but just feel free to share what your thoughts were before I got here to throughout the weekend.
So I had a idea of why you're coming. I guess over the course of a couple of years, and I think the most recent one, Grandma's funeral. I've been telling you about the genealogy, and you've kind of latched on to that curiosity and looked a little bit. So my understanding was the visit was more about connecting with family or reconnecting with family and maybe answering some questions or filling in some gaps. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of the premise of the visit. Plus, just you and I reconnecting as cousins. Yeah. That was a huge part of it, along with the family part of it. So I think that was my expectation.
I don't know if I had an expectation. When Rich said that you were coming to, I guess in essence, do some family research, to me he seems like the likely choice, right? Because he's got trees all over the place, and talks to so many relatives across, the country now or has identified them that it seemed quite natural. And your uncle's here, so the only living sibling of your dad. So to me it just made sense, and it was just okay. Yeah. All right, tell me when she's coming and we'll set up the room for her. And
Nice.
So yeah, I didn't really have any expectations.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So can you tell a bit about when you started the family research? Because that's like just a big part of your life now. Even this prop that we have here says family history on it. So that is your gift, or definitely one of them. And I mean, it's just so relevant and needed, but not everybody has the patience or the tenacity to really dig deep the way that you have. And you make it look easy, even though I know that it's not.
Well, thank you. I don't know when it really started, because I've always been engaged. I've always loved history. The first clear memory that I have of digging into the family genealogy and doing research, we were already dating, and we were living in Yonkers, and you had the computer by the door, and I was looking up my mom's side. Actually, I was looking up. She had her mother, if I have the story correctly, her mother and one of her mother's sisters, one of her aunts, were on a ship from St. Kitts, and came over to America. And she had told that story once, twice, and I just tried to find the ship, the name of the ship. I've tried to find the archives. What year was that? 19. No, just had to be like 98, somewhere around there. And that's the first memory I have of really digging deep into ancestry. I guess it was Ancestry at the time.
Probably that's the oldest one that I can remember.
The oldest one. So, and then from that, I remember finding. Oh, I remember we were living in New Windsor. Do you remember the time that Jada fell on the escalator?
Yes.
Okay. There was something going on, and there was one of the police officers at the check-in point or something right before the escalator. He did something with our luggage. He said we couldn't do, but I knew him.
Okay.
From the Chamber of Commerce. That gentleman did family research. I was working at New York Life at the time.
Okay.
And he did family research, and we just started talking once, and he came back to me and had a census with Grandpa Richard Wonder Walker Sr. And a lot of the kids. And he said, I don't know how to pronounce these names, or I don't know if some of these are right, but I looked, I was like, oh, wow.
He did that for you.
He did that for me. I didn't even ask.
Wow.
I didn't even ask. His name was William. His name was, William something. And so he presented that to me. And, because I had just been dabbling. I hadn't really been getting deep. That kicked me off.
Okay.
That kicked me off.
I bet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a generous thing to do. Like, you take your time to dig up somebody else's family.
Yeah. And so
information.
So when I realized what could be done, then I think that's when I got serious about it.
Okay.
And I started really digging and looking.
Yeah. Well, because of your research, like, I've actually been able to see what some of my great-great-grandparents look like. Wow. You know what I mean? And I would have never even thought to wonder what did my great-grandfather look like, or, well, I've seen, that one picture of Grandma's dad at her house.
Yeah.
But, I mean, wow. Yeah, so thank you for sharing. Family, this is available. You can reach out to Cousin Richie. He will give you the Ancestry link so that you can see the family tree. Can y'all tell me about your, where you've lived? I know that you were born in Texas, Richie, right?
Correct.
You were born in New York?
Yes.
But since y'all have been together, where have your residences been, and why did you go to those places?
So I think our first residence was in Peekskill, New York.
Okay.
So there's a little backstory to that. I bought a house in Peekskill, thinking that the best way to make money is through real estate. So I'll buy this little house in the middle of nowhere. Well, it wasn't in the middle of nowhere. It was the last city on the Westchester line off the Hudson River.
Okay.
So it had a nice view of the Hudson, but it also had a very nice view of the New York State Indian Point power plant.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
But I could afford it. So it was a small house, and my plan was to sell it so that I could afford to send my daughter to college. And then I thought I'd have some piece left over to buy something for myself whenever, wherever I go. But then, things change. You meet somebody, you get married. So we sold that house. But that's how we ended up there. So we got married maybe a year after I bought that house. Yes.
Okay.
But the house was small. It was a small house. It was 3 bedrooms, but tiny. So the third bedroom for 2 people, really, for an adult and a child, the third bedroom was kind of overflow.
Okay.
So then we bought a new house in New Windsor, which is in Orange County, New York.
Okay.
So over the Tappan Zee Bridge. And then, as luck would have it, during the housing crash, we decided to relocate, and we lived in a 2-bedroom. We moved down here to Houston then from New York. And to me at that point, it didn't matter where we lived because we were an hour and a half from Midtown.
Okay.
And to me, being in New York meant being in New York City, not so far away. So it's like, okay, it doesn't matter where we live now.
Gotcha.
So we moved to Houston, and for 3 years lived in an apartment on West Walker Street.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
And took 2 years of that, 3 years in that apartment, took the last 2 years to really look for a home that we felt comfortable with, the school district where we thought the girls would be comfortable. And now we're here in League City, just outside of Houston.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
So tell me who your children are.
You can handle this one.
Okay. Okay. So Jamila Nicole West is our oldest daughter. She's my biological child from my first marriage. She's 32. Her husband is Akina West, and they have a 5-month-old named Aria Rose West.
Nice.
And then we have Jada Skywalker, who's 18, and Leena Joy Walker, who is 16.
All right. So your oldest daughter's last name is West, and you were on West Walker Street.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't get any more perfect than that.
That's correct.
Wow. Okay. It's beautiful. So I won't make this long. I just would like to end with this, I guess abstract type of question, which I kind of warned you about, but just tell me, to you, what does being a walker mean to you?
I'll go first because no telling what. I might be mad after seeing it.
Not watch it.
I think the walkers have collectively, but maybe not consciously, been a group of people who have been searching, looking for something, but not even really knowing what they're looking for. And I see that in Didi. I see that in my dad and how he wanted to get away from where he grew up. Not knowing where to go, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to do it, but that seeing Grandpa or hearing stories of Grandpa.
Right.
And, don't be like these people, don't be like those people. Okay, then who should I be like? And then I see that trickle down to our generation, where I know for myself, there's been a lot of searching. I feel like I found a lot of answers because, fortunately, you learn from the previous generation, and that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah. So that's what I think. That's what I feel like the Walkers have been as a group, and hopefully that changes to where we don't. Hopefully it doesn't change in the sense that we each have our desire to pursue something new, and there's not always a roadmap, but at the same time, there is some foundation, and I think that's the part that was missing, was maybe the foundation for Walkers in general to just kind of know what they want to do and have some type of foundation to try and get there. And then explore. So to me, that's kind of what I see.
Okay. And what about for you personally?
I hope to make a difference, professionally and personally. Obviously in my family life, professionally, and just to people in general. So I shared with you that I'm joining a fraternity, the graduate chapter of a fraternity. And a lot of that is because I want to be able to mentor younger children. I want to be able to mentor young men, help them grow, help them have some type of path to follow, see what that's like, and to be able to contribute to them.
Okay.
So, yeah, I hope to make a difference in some way.
All right. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, Rosa, same question. What does being a Walker mean to you? And also, if I could kind of add to that or encompass in it, what has it been like being a part of the Walker family? Because you haven't always been, but since you have, it's been a good, significant amount of time. And what has that done as far as the trajectory of your life, I guess, if I could say it that way?
Yeah, it's listening to Rich talk about the Walkers as searchers. That I never thought of it that way, but that's a really good, I think, way to put it. And but for me, the Walkers mean the students. They mean Marvia. So in high school, I became best friends with two sisters.
Okay.
And those two sisters are related to the students.
Oh, wow. Wow. Small world.
So they are the nieces of one of Marvia's sisters.
Okay.
So, and as you know, your Aunt Marv is one of 11. So I knew maybe 3 of the sisters growing up. I knew a large part of the Walker student family as a teenager.
Wow.
So there are photos of Jamila with kids who are now her cousins through this marriage.
Did you know that when y'all met?
Well, it was the cousin who introduced us.
Okay, got you.
So like I knew his closest cousin and best friend.
Okay, got you.
I knew his aunt, his uncle. I knew his sister. I knew everyone except him and his parents because they were in Texas longer. So to me, it's almost full circle. So Marvia's sister married a man whose last name is Morales. And his brother and sister, like I knew. So I remember my first Thanksgiving as a official member of the family, where that one of the sisters came up to me and said, "It's so nice to have you where you belong."
Oh, wow.
Because she'd known me since I was 15.
Yeah.
So to me personally, that's what the walkers mean. The walkers mean the Sudans.
Wow.
Because they were all so much a part of my family when I was growing up. Some of them had met, my first husband. They knew my daughter. Yeah. Like, they saw her grow up.
Kind of already family.
We'd gone to baptisms together and baby showers. And it was just like, so for me, that's really what it means. And I said to you before, it's been a gift. It's been a gift to feel like, as an in-law, whatever that is, cousins, just, when you go into a room and people know you already, and you feel accepted, and that connection where you can start talking and not have to give the backstory sometimes, depending on what the conversation is, that's usually you have with friends. But no, that's something that, like, if his aunt were here, we could start talking about something that happened 25 years ago, right, before we were married, and she'd know what I was talking about. Right. So it's been a gift. It's been a lovely experience. The walkers to me are Doc, or your Uncle Rich, and Marvia. I see them very much as the kind of head. I think that's the right way to say it. I think that they have done so much as a unit. Yeah. And they've set a great example for generations. And it's not even about Dad's professional success, because he'll say it himself. I couldn't have gotten here if it wasn't for her. That's right. Yeah. He'll say it. It's not about me. It's right. us. Yeah. And I think it's just a really wonderful new foundation. Just to see what they have accomplished as a unit, and taking risks and just depending on each other. And I think that may be one of those things that has been misunderstood about me, like what my perception of Marvia would be as, a professional woman, and her being someone who was really, like, supportive of her husband, taking care of her kids, took odd jobs when she needed to help supplement. Yeah. I think it's just how it's supposed to be. It's just how it was supposed to be for them. Yeah. And they see it as a us. Yeah. And I think that's something that I think that we work on, is trying to see all of our losses and successes as a us, and they see everything as one. Yeah. And it's and to me, that's what being a walker is. It's like, from their perspective, it's one. Wow. Kind of that, if one of us succeeds, we all succeed. Yeah. That I think they're the example of that for a family.
Yeah. Thank you. That was beautiful. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you doing this. This is probably awkward, and I put you on the spot, but
no, this is what we need to do. I'm glad you did this.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Thank you for agreeing to be interviewed by me. I'm very grateful.
Of course.
So first, can you introduce yourself? What is your name? How old are you? Where are you from?
My name is Leena Walker. I'm 16. I was born in Newburgh, New York, and then when I was like 3, we moved down to League City, Texas.
Okay. Do you consider yourself a Texan now, or a New Yorker?
I'm definitely a Texan at heart, but because I love New York so much, I just say I'm from New York.
Yeah,
But,
can't nobody take that from you.
yeah, I'm not really from New York.
Not everybody can say they're from New York. You can't say that. Do you have any memories of it when you were little?
We used to have this jungle gym, and I really just remember that, like, the jungle gym and a bunch of holidays.
Okay. Yeah.
Like Christmas was insane. So.
How often do you go back?
I would say we go back pretty often, around like every year, I'd say.
Okay, all right. Cool.
Every year, every other year.
Yeah. And so what grade are you in?
I'm in 11th grade,
Okay.
and I go to Clear Horizons Early College.
Early college. So what does that mean?
So it's a, so throughout my high school years, I'm taking college classes, and then when I graduate high school, I'm going to graduate with my associate's degree.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you said throughout high school, so you've been taking college classes since 9th grade?
Yes.
Wow. Did you find it hard?
The courses increase difficulty on the year. So in freshman year, I was taking like PE.
Oh,
and
okay.
then, you know,
okay.
like art and stuff. So that wasn't really hard, but just adapting from middle school, not even having like a full high school experience, and then just diving straight into this, it was just a little cray. So
are all the students in your school in that program?
Yes.
Okay, so the whole school is like that.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. How do you like school?
I do like it a lot. I like the structure. I like how it's. So we only have 4 classes a day, but they're super long. So they're an hour and 30 minutes each.
Okay.
And I like that because it gives me more time. Well, we go over more stuff, and then we have more time to do homework in class, or to ask more questions and stuff. So then it's just like, I think it's more effective in learning than just 30-minute class periods, and then you go home.
Got you.
Because then the lesson's only like 15 minutes, and then in a class of 20.
Right.
And then if you have questions, you gotta wait till the end of class. So.
Right. That's harder.
Yeah.
So I guess a 2-part question. Do you have any like a favorite subject or interest in school, and do you know what you want to do after you graduate with your associates?
Okay, so favorite subject I would definitely say is like English or writing. Any writing class I have, I love. I think I always do good in them. I love writing essays, and just essays. If you want a 3-page essay, I'll get it done in a day.
Wow!
I think there's so much fun to do, especially
so cool.
The ones with research. Like if I have to go and find stuff, I'll have all my tabs open and just doing it super quick. And I think writing is easier than talking for me. So, when I was little, I used to write little notes to my parents and stuff whenever I did something wrong. That way I didn't have to say it. I didn't have to say I did something wrong.
Yeah, I used to do that too.
Yeah,
and my children have done that for me as well.
I used to put them in the back of the car or something.
Oh, nice little surprise spot.
Yeah. So
that's very creative.
So I definitely like writing.
Okay.
And for what I want to do, I have a variety of things I've looked into. So my 3 kind of main things right now are the Peace Corps.
Okay.
And that's just super I love to travel. So for me, that's if I can go anywhere for a certain amount of time and then help people while I'm doing it, learn another language, be involved in a whole different culture, and then do it all again in somewhere else, and I'm being paid to do that, that's my job, that's perfect for me.
Okay.
That's perfect for me. That it just has everything I would ever want in a job. So that's really
is that, you think, the main thing that you'd be interested in doing?
And then I've shown some interest in the military, potentially joining the military. The military comes to my school often to like recruit the college kids and stuff, but they also interact with the high schoolers. And so just talking to them and like seeing everything they have to offer has just made me also like, oh, this is an option, and it's a good option. And then I would say lastly, dealing with kids. So there's not like teaching, like it's not like I want to be a teacher or I want to, you know, work at a daycare or something, but I just love working with little kids. Like I think they're the cutest things ever. And I think they're hilarious, and I just love being with them because I feel like you can make such good connections with kids if there's a good environment. And I know, like, when I was little, there were so many, like, camp counselors I would see, like, for 2 months, and I would cry at the end of summer because I wouldn't be able to see them. Yeah. And I think that, like, people can make such an impact on little kids' lives, and I had that, and I want other kids to have that, so...
That's beautiful. I think you can do all those things. I mean, I'm not saying the Peace Corps and the military. I mean, who knows? Anything's possible. But as far as you traveling, getting to experience other cultures, being a light to young children, I think you would excel in all that.
Thank
you. You're welcome. I would want to change course and say how much I love your hair. I don't think I have told you that, but your hair is freaking awesome.
Thank you.
How has it been? Have you always worn your hair natural? Like, what is this journey? Because it looks like you full on embraced it, and it's just like when we came to pick you up, and I was in the car, and I was out there, and I was like, I wonder if it's at her, and then you came, and I was like, oh, it's the one with the hair. So, what has that been like?
It's definitely been like a flip for me. Like, this is the first time. So I think the first time I wore my hair naturally curly, like in this state, was about 3 months ago.
Oh wow! Okay.
2 or 3 months ago, I went to this consultant. She did my hair. It looked great. The first time I'd ever confidently worn my natural hair, like outside, and wasn't scared of like what other people would say because I knew it looked good. Okay. And so then ever since then, like, I was just like, oh, this looks good. Like, I don't always have to keep straightening it or putting it in braids because I used to be in this vicious cycle. So we've been straightening my hair since I was very little. Okay. And it's the only way I would feel pretty. And it's the only, like, after constant years of straightening, my hair was very damaged. And so when I wore it curly, I was like, this looks terrible because, you know.
Because it wasn't healthy.
Yeah, because, you know, it was frizzy, there were pieces, you know, straight, looked dead, like, was dull. Like, I was like, this just looks awful. And so then I would just keep straightening it. That way I wouldn't have to deal with my curly hair. And, you know, that just kind of turned into a cycle. And then I discovered braids, and I was like, this is my way out. Okay. And then I was like, this is tearing out my hair. So then I was just like, you know what, we're just gonna. So I went to the consultant, and we cut off like 3 inches. Oh wow! Of all dead hair. She shaped it up.
Yeah, because your hair is really long anyway. So I was thinking that maybe you had worn braids for like years to grow it out. But you've got a lot of hair.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. It's, and it's been quite the struggle too, like, because I do have a lot of hair and it's thick. Okay. And so I've tried like different curly hair products, and then it's just not, like, after 5 minutes, it's a fro. And like, that's not what I'm looking for. Right. Like, I'm looking for some definition, some structure. Yeah. And it just felt like nothing was really giving that to me. Okay. But I also didn't have, like, a teacher. I didn't have anyone who was like, this is what you're supposed to do. This is how you're supposed to do it. This is the products you need. This is why you need these products. Anything like that. So to actually get that for the first time, it was just like, oh, this is easier than I ever thought. So now I do my hair once a week. Okay. And it's a simple but long process. So I shower, wash it, and then after I wash, I section and I put a little bit of hair cream in it to help define it.
Okay.
And to make it like smooth and all that stuff. And then I add a lot of gel.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
then, and the key for me at least, I have low porosity hair.
Okay.
So
Mine is the opposite.
Really?
Yes.
So I add a bunch of water to my hair.
Okay.
Right. Low porosity.
I think so, yeah, because it's harder for the water to get in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I, like between each step, I'm drenching my hair in water.
Okay.
Just so it can lock in.
Okay.
And then after that, I sit under we have like this miniature hooded dryer.
Okay.
And I sit under that for like an hour. And then it doesn't look like this, but it looks a bit better. It looks a bit better. But yeah, and then I can wear it like that for like a week or.
And you do all that yourself. You learn how to
Mm-hmm.
do all of that yourself. Man, so that's so empowering for you to not know what to do and feel like you couldn't be pretty in what is naturally yours. You have the ability now yourself to do it, to define it, to know what works. I love that.
Thank you.
Yes.
And so this is my first time. Last school year, my curly hair was non-existent. Like, I got a sew-in for the first semester.
Wow.
And then the second semester, I got another sew-in and then braids.
Wow. Okay.
So my curly hair was like nobody saw my curly hair. Freshman year, I was doing like slick backs and then like a tight bun.
Okay.
So I mean, my curly hair was there, but it wasn't like
Not out.
Yeah. And so this school year, like I walked into school and I wasn't worried about how my hair would look because I actually felt confident in it.
Yeah.
But other times, like in middle school, I would always try and like figure something out, and like try and wear it half up, half down, or like you do Bantu knots, or like sleep in wet braids and then unbraid them in the morning.
Right. Trying to
Like
finagle the curl or the style that you want. Yeah.
And it just never seemed to work. It felt like I was making something that wasn't there. Oh, excuse me, Josh.
No, it's okay.
I think he's a bit thirsty.
Yes. Okay, so.
Yeah, so it was just like, it's really been like a turnaround for me because like last year I felt like I wasn't completely, I felt pretty, but it wasn't like Leena pretty. It was like what other people consider pretty.
Right, and that's a hard place to be.
So I was like, yeah, I think I'm pretty, but like, like this isn't my pretty. Like this isn't like, I wouldn't go out and be like, wow, I look so good.
Yeah.
But only because other people thought I looked so good that it was like, oh yeah, like they think I look good, so I look good.
Wow. Yeah.
But now it's just like, I know I look good because I feel I look good.
Yeah.
And what other people say, like, it doesn't really matter. Like there's only one person in my school who really gives me like comments and stuff. But it doesn't, I just completely ignore him because it's just like,
because you look good.
it's like whatever you say doesn't really matter to me because
yeah.
I know I look good and everybody else but you
Exactly.
is saying I look good. So it's just like,
you're the one who doesn't know.
Yeah, your opinion doesn't really, it's irrelevant to me.
Yeah, that's fantastic. For you to be 16 and to hear you say your opinion is not relevant to me, that is a jewel that so many people don't ever get to grab onto. So I just hope that gets to continue to flourish. I'm super happy for you. If you could tell me about your grandparents, your dad's parents, just your thoughts on them.
I love my grandparents. I think they're both amazing. My grandma, she has dementia, I think. Short-term memory loss, yes. I never quite know the exact one, but I remember when I was little, we would always have, Jada and I would have sleepovers there. our room is still the exact same.
Yes,
in their
I saw
house.
it.
It's exactly the same comforters, same like everything. The layout's all the same. And I remember we used to be obsessed with Minecraft. So we would play Minecraft all the time. And I would make my world and I would be like, Grandma, like, come look at my world. Like, come look at all my stuff. And then because she has short-term memory, like 30 minutes later, Grandma, come look at my world. Like, and I would just like always want her to like be there and like, because each time I would show her, she wouldn't remember that I showed her, but she would still have the same energy each time.
Right, like the same reaction, like, wow, look what you did.
Yeah, she's like, wow, that's so cool. Like, oh, how do you do this? Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, man.
And 30 minutes later, I could just feel that again.
Yes,
and so it was just like, I love my grandma so much. And my grandpa, I love my grandpa too. I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, me too.
He always makes me laugh. He calls us sweaty. Instead of hey sweetie, he says hey sweaty, and he does it intentionally in text and in person. I'll send him a text. I'll be like, hey grandpa, hey sweaty, just wanted to let you know. I'm like, all right, thanks for that.
Yeah.
So I think it started because one time he made a spelling mistake, like he didn't mean to do it, and then he just stuck with it. He was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna call him now. Yep. And so I'm just like, okay, but I think he's hilarious. He's definitely a talker. Like he can talk about anything for hours. Yeah. And so, sometimes I'm like, all right, grandpa, I'm gonna talk now. Mm-hmm. And how
does that go?
It goes good. He's a silly little guy, so he's just like, I mean, I like having conversations with him. Yeah. I like having conversations with him. I think he's a good person to have conversation with, and I think that sometimes older people don't like having conversations with younger people, and they kind of like look down on the younger generations, and I think my grandpa doesn't do that. At least not to me.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, and so he's just like I'll share my thoughts and opinions about, like not necessarily politics, but like something adult-ish. Right. And he respects my thoughts and opinions and will be like, oh, okay, well, I see it this way because blah, 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 blah. Okay. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I think he's a respectful person to have conversations with. And he's just hilarious. Yeah. I think him and my grandma's relationship is like that's everything I want. Like, they are just, like, so cute. Yes. Like, that is love to me. Like, that is... I see him interact with her, and I'm like, he's in love. Like, there's no question. And I think that's an important thing for people to see, like, for kids to see. Like, people that are really, truly in love. Yeah. And... yeah, I just love him so much. I used to, anytime I was sick, I would stay over at their house, when I would pretend to be sick. I would stay over at their house.
That worked too?
just hanging out. And then, my parents would drop me off in the morning and be like, okay, she's sick, like, all this stuff. And then at, like, 12, I'm like, hey, you guys want to go to the movies? You want to go to the park? So I just enjoyed spending time with them. So I was just like,
that's a way to get over there.
Yeah, skip a day from school, and I get to hang out with them.
Nice.
And they have a little closet, and if you go deep into the closet, it's like right under the stairs, and it's like a little like I don't know what to call it, but it's like
a storage room.
A bit, but it's like. You walk in, at first it's a closet, and then you duck down, and then there's, like, this space. Okay. And I used to hide in the space, like, all the time. I used to do arts and crafts in there, and then it used to be, I used to call it, like, Leena's hideout or something. Mm-hmm. And for dinner or for lunch or something, they would come and knock on the door, Leena, come on, time to come out.
Oh,
and
they would knock on your door.
Yeah, it was like my little study, my little room.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think I truly love them so much. And growing up and seeing my grandma's illness develop, it has kind of been hard because she doesn't even know my name anymore. So, I'll be like, hi, Grandma. Like, she knows who I am.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like, actually, like, being like, Grandma, like, what's my name? She can't tell me. So seeing it really develop has definitely been hard. I've definitely gone over and, like, cried a couple times, more than a couple, just because it's like, last month she was able to have a full-blown conversation with me. This month she doesn't even know my name.
Yeah, it happened that fast.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. So now she can't walk without help. She spends most of her days just on the couch. And then I remember when we would go and, like, she would take me to the park, or we would go on walks around the lake. And then it just kind of hits me that, she's there, but not fully there. She's not grandma.
Mm-hmm.
But I love my grandparents so much, and they're just, I don't talk to them as much as I should, and I know that. But I love them a lot, and I think that they're both great people.
Yeah.
And they both have the best intentions no matter what they're doing. Like, if my grandpa's talking for 2 hours straight, it's because he genuinely thinks that this is something that you should know and that, like, is worth knowing about.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just think they're great people.
I agree. Well, thank you for sharing that. I have one final 2-part question.
Okay.
If you could give any advice to your younger self, no matter what age you were, what would that be? And then what is something that, like, let's say you're 40 years old and you would want your 40-year-old self to know about you and how it might affect how your life goes, what would those things be?
To younger me, I would definitely say try not to think as much about what other people think about you. I used to, I still have, like, insecurities and stuff, but when I was younger, it was pretty bad. I used to have a bunch of dark spots all over my face, had terrible acne. I never knew what to do with my hair. Not that this is a bad thing, but I was skinny as a toothpick. My teeth were jacked up a bit. Till, like, 6th grade, I got braces. I just felt like I was never really pretty. I was always very worried about being popular in school, and I felt like I never really had many friends. I was just very insecure, and it wasn't because I looked at myself and was like, oh, like, you're ugly. Mm-hmm. It was because I heard people being like, you're ugly. Mm-hmm. And, just from classmates being like, oh, what's on your face?
Like, so mean.
What is that? Is that acne? Like, you have acne? That's weird. That's gross. And so I think just doing what I wanted to do. Like, I wouldn't, like, there was a time when I couldn't be like, oh, this is my favorite thing to do, because I was so worried being like, oh, this is everybody else's favorite thing to do, so this is my favorite thing. But it wasn't actually my favorite thing. I was just, like, convincing myself that it was to be liked.
Right.
And so I would say to my younger self, just definitely don't, like, and it's easier said than done, of course, but, like, just really try not to care what other people think about you or say about you as much as I did. My 40-year-old self, I would say, I think teen years and like I think high school and then into college are like the best parts of like can be the best parts of a person's life, and I think that everyone should take advantage of those parts in their life. And whether that's just like being buck wild or just like, you know, doing everything you can to make sure you have a successful future. Mm-hmm. I think that these are the like most significant parts of our lives, and it builds up to who you are later in your life. And so to my 40-year-old self, I think I would just say like the mistakes you made in the past, like that's okay. Mm-hmm. Like they're all okay, because at the end of the day, like some of them do matter. Like if I, you know, what college I decide to go to, that's going to change my life forever. Mm-hmm. But, you know, what I did at a party, you know, what I could have said or could have done, like that's not, you know, like that doesn't make an impact. Like when I'm sitting at dinner with my family, right? You know, so it's just like some things are so insignificant, and I think that people, and I know I do, people spend a lot of time focusing on insignificant things, like what you're gonna wear, mm-hmm. and stuff like that. And not that those like aren't important, but it's like
it's not, you know, high priority.
Yeah, it's like, you know, you're looking at your, you know, today and what you're gonna wear, and then throughout your whole life. Yeah. So it's just like some things are just not as big as they seem. Yeah. So I would just say like mistakes are okay. Like don't be like 2 years ago when I fell and tripped in front of that cute guy. Like that was awful. Like no, it's just like that's just what happened. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's what I would say.
I think that's excellent advice, and that actually hit home for me as somebody in my 40s, so thank you for that. I just want to tell you, I think you're a beautiful person inside and out, and very wise as well, so thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for this. I really enjoyed it.
Good, I'm glad. Hi,
Jada.
Hello. Will you please introduce yourself, tell me your name and how old you are and where you're from?
Okay, I'm Jada Skywalker. I'm 18. I was born in New York, but we live in Texas now. And
okay. Do you identify as Texan or New Yorker or both?
I say Texan, okay. But like if someone asks where, I only say New York when they ask where I'm born.
Okay, so, got you.
Yeah.
So, you have recently started college?
Yes.
And so where do you go?
I go to the University of Michigan. I'm a freshman there.
Okay. Do you know what you want to major in? Have you already picked one?
No, so I came in as a freshman undecided, but my classes for the fall will be surrounded around sports media and just sports media, because I would like to be a broadcaster, journalism in the sports industry, but I'm also not sure if that's 100% what I would like to do.
Okay. Are you interested in sports because you play sports?
Yes, I think so, but also the rise of women's sports and everything. I feel like it's becoming a more inclusive industry, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so how has that been? Because you went for summer semester, right?
Yes.
So how was your adjustment?
It was nice. There's really no complaints. I thought it was a great experience. I feel like I adjusted very easily there, but I also do travel a lot, so I feel like that helped with it, because I'm used to not always being at home. Mm-hmm. Towards the last week it kind of got hard. I wanted to come home and I was excited and looking forward to it, but I mean it was really nice.
Yeah, I knew you were looking forward to some decompression. That's why I'm very grateful that you have agreed to do this with me, and I'm glad I got to meet you before I left.
Yes, me too. Me too.
So what was high school like for you?
It was good. I mean, I don't really think I have any complaints about that either. I played sports throughout high school, and I took a lot of AP classes. I'm very social, so I was always out and about and everything. But I thought high school was very fun. yeah, that's about it.
You said you were social. Would you consider yourself extroverted?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Nice. And you also have natural hair.
Yes.
So please tell me about that. Have you always worn your hair natural? How has it been embracing that journey, if not?
Okay, so I guess you could say I've always worn my hair natural because I've never like done wigs or like braids or anything. But until I was about
I really hope that showed up on this camera.
I didn't mean it in like a bad way. But until I was about 14 or 15, I straightened my hair every single day. Like
every day.
I never saw my curls, let my curls breathe, anything.
Wow.
Until I was about like my kindergarten yearbook picture, like my hair straight. And then till about 8th grade, like COVID year, then I started wearing my hair curly. So
wow.
Yeah, I definitely had a bunch of damage. My hair was dead straight. Like, there was nothing. I never did a big chop or anything. I don't know, I just continued to wear my hair curly, and I would put it in this ugly little low bun every single day. It was just straight. Yeah. So I would just brush it back in this low bun every single day. But I just routinely did, like, hair masks, and I would put leave-in conditioner in my hair every day. And, like, every week I would do a hair mask. And I think that's what contributed to my hair looking like this now, because I never did a big chop or anything.
I was going to ask, like, how did you get your defined curls back after that? A hair mask.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that was COVID. I wasn't really into hair or anything at that point. I just was like, because I play sports and my roots would always sweat out. And I was like, okay, I'm tired of this. It's COVID. Like, I'm just going to keep my hair natural.
Okay.
And honestly, I can't even, all I know is I did hair masks routinely. I can't even tell you like a brand or anything. I would just go to the store, pick up a random one and do it. But now I like to think that my hair looks pretty good now.
Yeah, it does. It looks super healthy.
Thank you. Yeah, and I just, so about, I'd say maybe 2 years ago, I started actually like having healthier curls and everything. And I would do like a half up, half down every single day for like a year straight.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, because my front pieces were still like very straight, but then my bottom curls would be curling. So I would do a half up, half down every day. And that's when I started doing like gels and curling cream and everything. And then this past year, like my senior year of high school and now, is the first time like I've ever worn my hair down or anything. So this is like, I mean, it's been a year, but it's relatively new for me to have my hair down like this and everything. But now I'm really into my hair, and I use like Talia Wahid. You know that product? Yeah, I use that product in my hair, and I just shampoo and condition it. And I don't do hair masks as much as I would like to anymore, being in college. But while I'm home, like I still try to do them once a week or so.
Okay, that's very good. And tips for some healthy hair, because you did not big chop, and look at all this hair. So that's awesome.
Thank you.
How often do you do your hair now?
It kind of varies. I try to wash my hair about every 8 to 9 days, but so I wash my hair every 8 to 9 days. So whenever I wash my hair, I separate it into these tiny sections, and I put the Talia Wahid curling cream like in my hair.
Okay.
And then that can last me about a week. But, like, I like to wear my hair down more, so it'll last me a week of my hair looking good. But on the 5th or 6th day, like, I'll start to put it in a half up, half down or ponytail or something. Okay. So if I do want to wear my hair down again, then on, like, the 4th or 5th day, I'll just redo. I won't wash my hair, but I'll just brush it wet and redo, like, my tiny sections and put in my product.
Okay, nice. Yes. All right, so I want to ask you now a different topic about your dad's parents, your grandparents. Okay. Just talk to me about them.
I love them. Not really sure. My grandma. Well, I feel like I'm close to both of them. My grandma has Alzheimer's, and so like she's slowly declining. But like we try to call her and go over as much as we can, and she's still like such a sweet person.
She
like,
really is.
Yeah, like when you see her, like I see a lot of videos online, and it shows like how other people's parents are with Alzheimer's, but I feel like my grandma's like very different, and she's just always sitting there laughing, and she's always touching my hair, rubbing my back or something. But I remember like from an early age, like she wouldn't remember. Like I remember I used to tell her like the same joke over and over again. I'd be like, why does she keep laughing? Like I found it funny.
Yeah.
But like I just remember from an early age, like she was always forgetting things.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah, she's a super sweet person. Like I love being there with her, even though she's not fully there and like doesn't remember who I am or anything. And then my grandpa, I don't know, very serious but funny guy. He went to University of Michigan, so I feel like that's probably going to bring us closer.
Do you think that had anything to do with why you chose to go there?
No.
Okay.
No. I think they did introduce me to the school. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's a good school, so I think I would have heard of it or maybe applied to it if it wasn't for them. But I mean, they definitely introduced me to the sports and everything about it. Because my other cousin went there as well. But no, them going there really had no input. It was just, I toured all the schools that I applied to. And when I went to that school, I felt the most like I just felt I fit in and felt like the most community and everything. Yeah. But yeah, he went there, and yeah, he's just a guy. I feel like he has a lot of wisdom, and he like likes to share it and everything. He talks a lot. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So a final question, but like 2 parts.
Okay.
So what advice would you give to yourself, a younger version of yourself? Doesn't matter what age.
Okay.
And then what would you tell your 40-year-old self?
Oh, okay. To my younger self, I feel like I would just say 2 things. One, I would say, like, about curly hair, about natural hair, like, embrace it, like, while you're young. I guess not embrace it, because you can't really control it when you're younger, but, like, I don't know, just love, like, your natural hair, because whenever my hair was damaged and I was trying to wear it curly, that was so hard for me. Like, every day, I didn't know how to style it and everything, so every day it's in the same hairstyle, and it looked horrible. Like, and my hair's dead straight. Like, it was a very hard time for me, I feel like. But now I feel like I've come a long way, and looking back, I'm like, how did I go out in public with my hair looking like that? Like, some pictures are super embarrassing. But I would say, like, embrace it, like, while you're younger. And then also, I mean, not everyone's like this, but I feel like I care a lot about, like, what other people think of me, or, like, I feel like I put too much thought into things that don't really matter. And, like, as I've grown up and everything, and even being in college now, I look back and I'm like, I think grades are important, but, like, I look back now and I'm like, wow, I stressed about that one high school test, and it really didn't. Like, I'm still at a good school. Like, I didn't get all A's in high school, but I'm still at a top 10 university. Like, but I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself into, like, how I look, like, my grades, like, how I dress. And then now I'm in college and I'm, like, finding myself, which is, like, so cliche, but, like, I feel like I care a lot about, like, what other people think. And then now I'm just starting to branch out and, like, be my genuine self.
Okay.
Oh, and to the future me, I'm not sure. Maybe, I think I would say, sorry, I'm not sure.
Oh, it's okay.
I think maybe, like, do what you want, but in the sense of, like, I feel like on women there's a lot of, like, well, I mean, for me at least, like, a lot of my friends are like, oh, I want to have kids by this age, married at this age, like, they just have, like, their whole life planned out, and I feel like I don't really, and, like, I just know, like, I want to travel, like, I do want to be married, and I want to have, I don't know if I'll have kids, but, like, I do know I want to be married and everything, but like, when I think of my future, like, I think of just traveling and just being happy and, like, But if that is with like a husband or boyfriend or something like that, I think that'd be great. But I feel like as I get older, like I might try to be like, oh, like everyone else is getting married, like maybe I should settle down or something like that. But I feel like I try to tell myself, like, think of the goals that I had when I was younger.
Okay.
Of like traveling and doing like what I wanted to do.
Yeah. To not lose hold of what was in you then.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great advice.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time and
You're
for
welcome.
talking to me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yeah.
All right, let me
I'm
see.
afraid for my life. That's a good
Your
one.
time to crack a
That
help,
was
Rosa.
good. That was a good one.